Hey everyone, Desmond here. Welcome back to SG Carmart. So today I'm once again on chauffeur duty and I am driving the really lovely Lexus LS. So today we are going to be interviewing basically my boss's boss's boss, so my great-grand boss, right? So yeah, Julian, over to you.
Are you so stressed?
Hey guys, welcome back to SG Carmart Drives. I'm Julian and right beside me is Mr. Hao Tian. If you
Hello,
guys
everyone.
don't know who he is yet, he is the CEO of Asia Pacific Toyota Financial Services as well as CEO for Toyota Motors Asia Pacific. The list goes on and on, so I can't tell you everything, of course. So we'll just stick to this two first. Welcome, Mr. Hao Tian.
You're welcome.
So how should we address you? Would you like me to address you as Mr. Hao or Hao-san?
Yeah, you can call me either Hao or Hao-san. In the Toyota, if you call me Hao-san, everyone know. If you
okay.
call my last name, no one know.
Okay, so we understand that you don't always live here, obviously. We also understand that you're a Canadian Vietnamese, so you've worked across Canada, China, and even Japan. Which has been the best place to live in, and why do you think Singapore is the correct answer?
As a Canadian, I like space. I love space. I like natural scenery. So for me, I always enjoy doing that outside of work. So when I live in Japan, I have the opportunity to visit so many towns, so many scenery over there. So lovely place. When I live in China at that time, also China is so big country, so many places to go and see, so many natural scenery to see. So I also enjoy that too. And I'm in Singapore here. Space a little bit limited, as you know, but we have a lot more artificial, man-made scenery like Marina Bay Sand, Garden by the Bay.
Yeah.
Those kind of thing I don't think other country have yet. So that's a little bit different. Take on Singapore. So I like Singapore people. I like the Singapore food here. So different interests and different area to focus on.
So on the subject of food, which is your favorite food?
My favorite food, actually, I should say my favorite food is Asian food. So any Asian food I like. From India to Malay to Indonesian to Singapore to Vietnamese food. I love those. Yeah, the tastes are very, some of them are challenging.
Yep.
Thai food are very challenging also. But I'm a very exploratory eater, so I like to explore different tastes, different kind of food.
Okay. As a train lover, what are your views about Singapore's train system?
Oh, I love it. I mean, I believe that SMRT train system, whether it's subway or on the road light rail, they are excellent. I think that's one of the best run railway and subway system that I've seen so far. Because I used to work in the rail business, so I understand it's not so easy to keep the railway running on time and all the time. So it's very tough business. And for my experience living in Singapore for the last 8 years, I have to say that this is one of the best operation that I've seen in the world. But I used to identify line by color. And because where I live and go to the central, the city, I always use the purple line or the yellow line.
Ah.
Right?
Yep. That's right. Okay. In your position right now, trains or cars, you can only choose one.
Train or cars? If I pick cars, I probably gonna be my boss gonna be not so. But honestly speaking, I would choose train. I feel that train continue to be a fundamental a basic pillar for urban transit. Right, I still feel like that.
Being a Singaporean driver, per se, right? So how long have you had a license?
I have, for Singaporean license, I have had the license since the day one I got here. So,
Oh, so
I
for
have
8 years?
For 8 years already.
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
Yeah. Yeah, I love to drive in Singapore.
Okay.
Yeah, and I believe that as a car guy,
Yeah.
I need to experience the driving.
Yes.
I need to understand the vehicle performance, how it's performed, or the function, how it is, and how
Yep.
it feels driving a car. So I love driving. So
Great.
as a people from North America, we drive everywhere we go, right? But in Singapore here, honestly speaking, because of the limitation on the speed on the freeway, so that opportunity getting less and less for me. I like to drive fast car. Within a little bit.
We all like to drive fast cars too, but there's two things. One is we can't afford it, and number two, there's just no space for us to drive fast. Yes.
I think so.
Okay, so what was the first ever car that you have ever owned?
Very boring. I own a Corolla, Toyota Corolla,
Oh, okay.
as my first car in Canada. That's the first car I get my hand on. But along the way, because I work for a car company, so
Yeah.
I always try different type of car.
I see.
Every 3 months, I would change a car.
I see.
So in my every year, I would drive about maybe 4 to 5 cars, brand new car.
Wow.
Every 2 months or 3 months, I change to a new car.
Which means my life is slightly better than yours because every 2 weeks I get to drive a new car. So when you came to Singapore, what was the car that you first drove when you came to Singapore?
When I came to Singapore, I drive the Camry hybrid. I specifically asked for a hybrid. So at the time, I only get a Camry hybrid.
Yep.
And then after that, I drive a ES hybrid also. And now I'm driving a LS right now.
Now that you've driven in Singapore for the past like 8 years, right? What's the one thing you wish that Singaporean drivers would learn or would have?
As I compare to other developed countries, right?
Yes.
I mean, Singapore road and condition and driver behavior are very good in
Yes.
terms of following the rules and things like that. But I would hope that the Singaporean can be a little bit more patient on the road.
Yes, my wife tells me that almost every day. Yeah. Back in 2016, when we actually did an interview, you actually talked a little bit about the Toyota Supra. Obviously, it has already been released, updated, and is now warmly received by a lot of us. What does a halo car for Toyota look like in the year 2030?
But looking ahead, this is just my anticipation.
Yep.
Okay, so I haven't talked to Akio-san about this yet. But I believe that the focus on environmentally friendly vehicle will continue to be the focus, and it will be stronger toward those 2030. So therefore, the car of the future should be one of those environmentally friendly vehicles.
Okay.
And of course, we like performance cars, so we like that to be a high performance car. So I would think that, if I'm guessing out loud here, that would be, for example, in the lineup of Toyota technology, would be a hydrogen supercar.
Like a Super Mirai.
Yeah, like a Super Mirai, correct.
Wow.
Yes.
How about Singapore? What is Toyota's plans to solidify EV in Singapore?
Earlier this year, I don't know if you follow or not, Akio-san, our president, Akio
Yes.
Toyota, have presented our plan for the 2030, right?
Yes.
30 different lines of
That's right.
EV car.
Yes.
So we are well prepared for that in the future. So Singapore market, although small, is very important market for us because it does it is leading the region
Yes.
in terms of the powertrain. Yeah, I always use Singapore as an example that the future for Asia.
Yes.
I always use Singapore as an example. Road condition, government policy in terms of emission,
Yep.
Fuel standard, those things. I believe that ASEAN, especially ASEAN country government, also use Singapore policy as a reference point.
I see.
Right. So it is important that we develop the Singapore market ready for the future of ASEAN.
Interesting. Would you say that you are an EV convert?
I'm not. I believe that EV is a good option.
Yes.
Definitely a good technology for sure. There's no doubt about that.
Yep.
But it's one of the technologies that are available. There's multiple options that we
Yes.
can do. For example, hydrogen,
Yep.
hybrid,
Yep.
and we also developing something we call it biofuel that
right,
will
right.
achieve the same result
Yep.
or maybe the same direction in terms of CO2 reduction, emission reduction. Why I'm saying that I wouldn't say that convert or not convert, because I believe it's a great technology.
Yep.
But what I'm saying here is that right now I feel that we are pushing is too much,
Yep.
in the sense that we are ignoring the valid option of the other powertrain.
Yes.
Just imagine all the cars that we have now, if they all plug in at night,
Yes.
how would it do to the electricity supply for the HDB flat?
Yeah.
But
It'll
just
start
think
to-
about it.
The
You
lights will
just
start to
think about
flicker when you switch on. They're like,
it. Yeah,
not
you
enough
just think
power.
about it. I'm not saying that it won't be a good choice, but
Yep.
it will have difficulty for sure.
So there you have it, guys. That's the interview with Hao-san.
Don't forget to like and subscribe in the YouTube channel.
Yes, and do comment in the comment box below. Let us know what you think about this interview and what you think about Hao-san's opinions. Please hit the bell notification button so that you'll be notified every time we upload new videos. And of course, follow us on TikTok. Our handle is @SGKamat. In the meantime, stay safe, be well. Bye-bye.
Bye bye.
You're worrying about the wrong thing. Yeah, I can see it come.
I refuse to say what on this paper here. It said I will donate a Gia Yaris to Julian.